Hi everybody, we are live right now. Um, Very excited to bring my friend today, Coen. All right, so we are very excited to have my dear friend Coen here today. All right, so for those of you that are tuning in, Coen is my dear friend. All right, he's also a master storyteller. All right, so how many of you are interested to learn from Coen today? Awesome, awesome. All right, so Coen, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Let the audience know who you are and what do you do.
First of all, hello everybody. It's great to spend this Friday night with you, and thanks very much, Jonathan, for inviting me to this, live interview. So a little bit about myself. I am a speaker, an international speaker, as well as a coach. So what I do is I actually coach like business leaders. A lot of them are like corporate leaders to connect their backstory to their front story, which is their vision story, and to also connect it and present it in such a way, right, that they are able to attract people to them. They are able to, inspire people with their stories, and they are able to, enroll people into their cause with their story. So that's what I do best.
Wow, I love it. It's such a unique niche. Now, Cohen, tell us a little bit more about your gift, right? Because you are so good at connecting with people. You are so good at, bringing out the best in people by connecting their backstory and their front story. Can you share with us some of your frameworks so that our audience understand what you are good at?
Okay, great. Before I go into the framework, so I think just a bit of a backstory for myself, lah. Right, you see, I'm good at connecting with people, right? This is a gift that I never always had, lah. Because when I was growing up, right, I was a very sensitive boy, and
Wow.
growing up in those years, right, in the 90s, in the 80s, the 90s. Now you know how old I am,
Mm,
um, growing up in those times, it's not commonly accepted for a boy to be so emotional or emo, so to speak.
mm, mm.
So I was often told by my father that I'm too soft and that I am not tough enough. I'm not man enough. So
Okay.
he always wished I'm more rugged. And in school, right, I get bullied a lot. So I often got called kunyang and names like that lah. So I was very much a loner growing up. I part of that also is because I'm like I say, I'm a very sensitive boy, right? Growing up in I would just say put this way lah. I grew up in a household where there was quite a lot of conflict, and there was a lot of arguments and quarrels and even fights. So this sensitivity, right? I never thought it was a gift. If anything, I thought it was a curse because it made me so sensitive to every time there's going to be a fight or there's any conflict. But by the same token, I didn't realize until much later when I grew up, right, that this is also my survival mechanism. So
Mm,
I know how to when to siam and all that stuff like that. But
mm,
because I was so sensitive and always siam, right, I always have trust issues. I don't believe that people genuinely want to be with me. So
mm.
therefore, I was very shy. I didn't know how to make friends with people. I was very socially awkward.
I see.
Yeah.
Connecting.
So that's
Yeah.
my backstory. Why this is important is because it is a very long journey for my life, right? To connect back and really make peace with all my struggles growing up.
Yeah.
Uh, until when I get into adulthood, right? I was still very socially awkward. When I graduated and go to the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
Um, I basically always get outcast. I was invisible when I speak up during meetings in at work, right? Nobody really listens to me.
I see.
Um, yeah, and today I'm a speaker, right?
That's
Irony of it, right?
awesome.
Yeah. So there were times where I realized that, you know what, I really need to learn how to speak up because my work will not speak for itself. I have to speak up for myself. Otherwise, right, I'll forever go on living a life of invisibility, and I don't want to live a life of invisibility.
Mm,
So I went through a lot of courses, seminars, and read a lot of books.
yeah.
Um, did a lot of practice in public speaking. To take every opportunity that I can to speak up as much as I can. So I found my voice lah. I was able to speak up, but still I wasn't able to speak up in a way that, right, how do I say, make all my thoughts and emotions and feelings are flow in formation. I was still
Mm,
very, I was just speaking for the sake of speaking, what I mean?
yeah.
Very attention seeking. So
Yeah.
it was a long journey for me to really, mold
Connect the dots.
myself, heal myself, and to craft myself into the man I am today.
Wow, amazing, amazing story. Thanks for being so vulnerable. So can I ask you, like, what is your vision? Like, moving forward, what is your vision? Because you share with us a little bit more about your backstory. So I'm just curious, what is your vision?
My vision story, right, is I want people, right, that I work with, that I talk to, that I have the opportunity to touch, right, to feel that they too can be seen, they too can be, they can be heard, and they can be understood and respected. I think
Wow.
this is something very understated, lah. I mean, I don't always teach people how to make a lot of money. Of course, obviously, if you know how to be seen, be heard, be respected, definitely you're going to attract more clients, attract more people to actually go make more money.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's not on the forefront. It's more about, there are a lot of people who are suffering from invisibility. They don't feel that they deserve to be seen. They don't feel worthy. They feel that they are not good enough. And I want them to feel that they have the confidence to feel that, hey, you're
Yeah,
good
worthy.
enough. Mm.
Love it, love it. So can you share with us about like now we know that your backstory and we also know that your vision, right? Can you share with us about how do you discover about this framework, and from this framework, how do you go out and actually help more people and serve more people?
Wow. Okay, so I'll come to my framework. I'll put it piece by piece. Okay, so first of all, right, everyone, I'm sure you have heard of the hero's journey framework.
Yeah,
So, so a lot of people talk about, everyone has a hero journey and everything, but what I start to see is a lot of speakers, marketers, and I mean, nothing against speakers and marketers. I'm a speaker myself. I'm just saying that I see a lot of people kind of like just follow it like a template, you know what I mean? Then after a
yeah,
while, it becomes very cliche,
yes,
Yeah. So
totally agree.
I remember hearing so many speakers talk about how I used to eat Maggie mee lah, now I live in a penthouse lah. The kind of
Yeah,
rags to riches story,
yeah,
which is by theory very good lah, but still after a while, after it's been heard so many times, right, people start to switch off already.
there's nothing special.
Hmm. So I started realizing that actually everyone has a different backstory.
Mm.
What made me really discover this is understanding why sometimes I gave my best speech. I feel like I gave my best speech ever, right? But people just kind of like, and then the feedback I receive is like not so good. But there are times when I go up there and I didn't do the best speech level. I forget my lines, I fluff my lines, I made a lot of mistakes. I felt like a fool and idiot on stage. I really feel like getting off the stage as soon as possible. But people come up to me and say, hey, Coen, I really resonate with your speech. I love your story. I'm like, I scratch my head. I wonder, like, what is it about my story that makes people relate to? Then that's why I started to research deeper into understanding, oh, there are several different types of backstory. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Mm.
okay. So share with us about how do you like help your clients to actually discover more about themselves?
Mm.
Like how is it applicable in terms of like their day-to-day work, and share with us some examples where before the client met you, maybe they are lost or something like that, and after that, how do you help them to achieve the maximum potential or the results that they hope that they can?
Okay. One example, right, is this. I think in Singapore, let's be frank, I mean, not many of us are living in poverty, so I think that's
Mm,
something that's good.
mm,
So I met a lot of people who come up to me and say, hey, Coen, it's like I'm a little lost. I feel I actually, some of my clients are very high flyer. They are really pretty high flyer people already.
wow.
They have big house, big car. I remember one of my clients, a financial services director. He lives in a 4-story house, and he has got 3 Mercedes. And he still came to me because he felt that he's stagnating somewhere. He cannot grow his agency, he cannot grow his team, and that people around him don't respect him. He feels that people don't respect him. So it makes me feel like, this guy, right, has all this house and everything, right, but these are all substitutes for what he really wants in his heart. Is what he really wants is to be seen, be understood, and be respected.
Okay.
So yeah, so he suffered from the invisibility story. So I think he came up and approached me after one of my speech because I think my story resonated with him. I think he kind of saw himself in my story. So that's why he came up to me and said, hey, Coen, I want you to coach me.
Wow, you're the one of the most down to earth person I've ever met, because you're always like so open to share about your weakness, right? Because I know that in this industry, a lot of people they actually put up a shield, right? They always want to look good, but one of the things that I really admire you is that you are always very, very open, down to earth. And one of the skill set that I noticed that is that you always like to acknowledge people, right? I remember there's one time I had lunch with my dear friend Coen over here, and there's this lady, right, very pretty lady serving us lunch, and Coen actually called out her name. No, simple things like that, acknowledging people, thanking people, make people feel appreciated. So I think this is one of your really give your skill set, and that's something that I really admire you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks very much. If anything, yeah, it's true because that's something that I really trained myself. It was a trained behavior actually. Why I say it's a trained behavior is because I wasn't seen growing up, and so the adulthood, right? I was trying very hard, like I said, to be an attention seeker. I mean, truth be told, there was a period of time when I was such an attention seeker, right? That I actually had I was three timing my girlfriend, so I had three girls at the same time. So basically, I was an asshole. So lah, yeah, I can be an asshole if I'm not careful. Yeah, I can be an asshole. So that really was a wake up call for me because I cannot sleep at night. It makes me realize what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this for? And the hard truth that I need to face up to is the fact that I grew up feeling unseen and unheard. Therefore, when I grow up, right, my ego wants to feed on all these things, attention from ladies, attention from people, and all that. So I realized I was going into a very dark place. Then I realized that I think it's time for me to stop those ways because it's leading me nowhere. If anything, I'm actually making more enemies. I'm breaking more hearts, and that's exactly not what I want to do. It's taking me further from my dream and my purpose. And so I realized, I think it was Oprah Winfrey who said this, it's like you have to give the gift to other people, the very gift you wanted to have for yourself. And
Wow,
that line really resonated with me. And that's why I realized that, hey, I want to go out and give people the gift of visibility. I mean, look at this waitress, right? I mean, they work long hours standing and doing the dirty work, and nobody actually just appreciate them, see them. If anything, they only complain when things go wrong. So I think some appreciation is always good.
Awesome. So by understanding so can I ask, like, for example, how do people, by understanding about their essential self, right, actually help them in their business or even in their work or career?
Great question. More story for myself. When I first became a speaker, that was like 10 years ago. I had a mentor. I don't want to mention names. He's one of my mentors, and I'm always grateful for him for giving me a very, very good start in the speaking industry. I was following him around. He's a very charismatic speaker. He's a very, very good, successful Singaporean speaker, and I learned a lot about sales, learned a lot about marketing from him. So after I stopped working with him, I went on my own separate ways, right? I realized that I was trying very hard to be like him, so much so that sometimes my clients will come up to me and say, "Hey, you remind me of that guy," and I'm like, question mark is, I am me. Why am I compared to that guy, right? And some of my other peers will say to me, say, "Coen, you got to be yourself, stop trying to be somebody else." And so that's when I realized that, yeah, that's true, because if I try to be somebody else, at best I'll be a fake. I'll be a kind of like a chiong copy of another person. I'll never be an original me. So then began the journey of like really understanding myself. And the essential self is very important, is because for a long time, right, I was attending Tony Robbins, TF Ecker, all these people, right? And then when I was speaking, I was going yes or yes and all that kind of things. I was high energetic speaker, and I was trying to be somebody I was not. And after a while, number one, very very tiring. Number two is that I wasn't getting anywhere. And number three, actually, I wasn't getting repeated business. And in this business, right, if you don't get booked again, then your income just plummeted. So that was a wake-up call for me also. So I realized that what is it that I do best? What I do best, and how can I make use of what I do best? So I need to connect with my backstory. Yeah.
I see. Love it. So can I ask you, what are some of the common mistakes that people make when they are on the journey of discovering themselves?
One of them is what I just shared. When you see other people having the kind of success that you want, then you go chasing after the bright shiny object. You kind of like, oh, I admire this person, I want to be like this person. But the question you need to ask yourself is, why do you want to be like this person? Is it because your backstory is similar to this person? You have the similar kind of hurt? Then the question now is, you must understand the person's journey instead of just seeing the person's success. A lot of people go chasing after other people's success, but without seeing their journey, you see. Then when you really started getting on that journey, then you start to realize how difficult it is. Then you either give up halfway, or secondly, you try to model after that person so much that you lose track of who you really are. So I think it's one of the mistakes that people make is really go chasing after stardom or chasing after other people's success. I think it's important to just really be connected with yourself, your backstory.
I see. Wonderful. So one of the things that I realize is that a lot of people, when they cannot find their own voice, is also because they have low self-confidence, right? So how do they overcome all these self-confidence to actually tell people that, hey, it's okay to be yourself? Because most of the time I realize that when people actually put up a front, or when people want try to become like another person, right, it's also probably, it links to their backstory, and they probably have some self-confidence issue. And what kind of advice would you give to this group of people to actually help them to overcome their fears, and let people know that, hey, you know what, it's okay to let people accept you for who you are.
Bro, the truth be told is like right now as I'm talking to you, right, I'm also questioning myself, am I doing okay? So this self-confidence things is never going to be, it's never always white or black, it's not like, wow, you're either super self-confident or you're super unself-confident. It's never like that one. It's always
It's a
like
journey.
a journey and a continuum somewhere. Like even right now as I'm talking to you, I'm also questioning myself. This self-confidence thing is always there one. And I think it's about having the right balance. Why? Because if you're totally self-confident, right, then you suffer from hubris, you see. Hubris means you think that you're damn good, but actually that's when you think you're damn good. That's when you actually at your downfall. Like you watch soccer, right?
Very,
The
very
team
true.
is most vulnerable when they just score because they are in a high, then they complacent. Yeah. Then the second thing is, but if you're of course very unself-confident, that means you always beat yourself up and you're very harsh on yourself, right? Then you're not going to give yourself a chance. You're not going to give yourself a chance to say yes to a lot of things. So I think the thing is that understand that there's no such thing as 100% self-confidence or 0% self-confidence. It's always somewhere in between. Then once you know where you are, right, the question is how can you raise the bar slowly but surely on a day-to-day basis? Maybe try doing something, that scares you a little, just a little. I don't say scares you means to say go bungee jumping, but really scares you a little. Sometimes saying I love you, right, is
Stepping out from comfort zone.
yes. Just now, actually, to tell the truth, before I come on this call, right, I was having dinner with my wife, and my wife said something which I don't agree with. Then I just blurted out a pretty direct statement, and I hurt her feelings. Then she started going quiet. Then I know, oh, I hurt her feelings. Then I say sorry to her. Then she didn't want to say. She didn't look at me. She just keep quiet, everything. Then I tell her, say, hey dear, I got 8 o'clock live, okay? Then she's like, keep quiet. So I was like, oh shit, it's like personally, I'm not the type of person who like to sleep over a conflict or I'm coming on live. I want to be in the peak performance state, right,
Yeah.
obviously, but I'm not. The truth is, I'm not because I pissed her off before this coming on this live, and but being able to admit that, hey, we are all humans, we all make mistakes.
It's okay.
It's okay. So forgiving myself so that I can be present to this. And even now, as I'm talking to you, I'm just being open and telling you my story.
Wow, I
There's
love
nothing to
it.
hide.
Forgiving,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's totally okay to be yourself. It's totally okay to make mistakes, right? Just learn from your mistakes, acknowledge it, forgive yourself, and move on.
yeah, man.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, last question: what advice would you give to your younger self now that you are so wise? You know so much more stuff, right? Compared to a younger self, what kind of advice would you give to a younger self right now?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's like younger self. This is an interesting question. Let me think. I think one of the words I will say to myself is I go for it. I think I only started very late. I'm kind of like a late bloomer.
Mm,
It's only in 2014 when I had a very bad breakup. That was my previous girlfriend before my wife.
mm,
Yeah, that was when I realized that I was really in my close to mid 30s and suffer a breakup like that. Then I was like, oh shit, man. I realized I haven't been living my life. I haven't really been taking enough risks, so I haven't been doing things. So sometimes when I want to do something, but I always have a lot of reasons. Oh, no lah, very expensive lah. Ayah, no money lah. Ayah, no time lah. So I always give myself all kinds of excuses without having a kind of like myself say, hey, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And since then, right, I've go for a lot of things. Like I've just chunk for it, and then trust me, it's not always fun and enjoy. Sometimes when you go for something, they realize, oh shit, why have I let myself into? And then you suffer through that pain, right? But that's how your character is formed, right?
yeah.
I want to leave with this fantastic book I read called The Road to Character by David Brooks. He talks about two types of virtues. In our life, right, very often we all focus on building what's called resume virtue. What's a resume virtue? Resume virtue is what the kind of things you say about yourself on a resume. Like
Yeah.
I'm an organized person, I'm goal
Results that
oriented,
you achieve.
results I've achieved, my past experience, everything. but we don't often talk about what is called our eulogy virtues. Our eulogy virtues are the things that people say about you right when you die.
Wow.
So people will say things like, "Here lies a loving guy." So I think we have always been cultivating our resume virtues as a developed nation in Singapore. But have we actually cultivated our character, our true character? Have we cultivated our eulogy virtues? And that was when I realized that, after, it is only through all the shit that you go through. Sorry for my French, but you go through the shit, right? Then you really mold your character. Then you really test yourself, you know what you're made of. And then when you build that character, you come out the other side, right? Then you can have that so-called wisdom. I'm still a work in progress, bro. But
all of us are work in progress.
yeah, man. So that's advice. Say go for it.
Lovely. All right. So for those of you that really enjoy Coen sharing today, all right, I'll actually put the link below. And if you are interested, you can actually connect with Coen and follow him on Instagram. All right. So for those of you that actually enjoy videos like this, do consider to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right. Every day we'll be posting new videos like these to actually help you to grow and scale your e-commerce business and to help you help you in your personal development. All right. I hope that you enjoy this video. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Coen. Thank you so much for your sharing today.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Bye, guys. Take care.